Hi, I'm Corey Litzenberger from CGLTax.ca, and this is Brainstorming Plus Tax. Hi, everybody. It's Corey Litzenberger with CGL Strategic Business and Tax Advisors. Today, we're going to talk a little bit more on the business side of things and the myth of casual labor. Now, there is a tax side of things with this as well, and so we'll touch base on these issues, but one of the things I want to get out there already is to let you know that there are some concerns when it comes to dealing with the term casual labor. So when it comes to paying people in Canada, that term casual labor does not actually exist. Many people incorrectly use this term to describe someone who's worked for a few hours here and there who's not on payroll. Maybe they've decided to hire a temp for 3 days to clean up a shop and then write them a check. Some business owners think that this is okay, but sadly this is not. So in many cases, if somebody's getting paid to do something for a business, they're either a subcontractor or they're an employee. In the case of a construction industry, for example, even the subcontractors will still have to be issued a T5018 slip, even if they invoiced you. For this reason, you need their name, their mailing address, and either their social insurance or GST numbers. In the case of an employee, they obviously need to be issued a T4 slip, because in most cases, they're required to have employment insurance withheld from every dollar of income you wish to pay them, to the maximum insurable amount, of course. So as soon as you start paying them, a couple bucks here and there, they automatically are supposed to have EI taken off that check, and you're supposed to top it up with the employer portion. And so as a result, you can't just have casual type of person that's not on payroll. So having these payroll tax withholding issues with casual labor is only one of the various things that business owner can get in trouble for. So another thing to keep in mind is that if you hire a subcontractor or an employee and they're doing something underneath your business or for your business or represents your business, they may need to be covered for workers' compensation. And a lot of people miss this when it comes to subcontractors because they just assume that if the person has their own business that they have their WCB. And unfortunately, they can get caught if something goes wrong in that situation, and we see it more often than we'd like. If you're hiring someone who is not an employee to do a specific task, they are not automatically covered under your plan. So you have to make sure that individual is covered. And just because they are invoicing you doesn't mean they're paying for coverage. If they aren't, it's actually your responsibility to make sure they're covered. You have to list your subcontract payments, etc., to those that may not yet have WCB numbers. The Workers' Compensation Board will perform audits on companies where they notice a bunch of subcontractors that have been paid, and will request proof that they've had coverage. In some cases, business owners aren't even collecting business numbers or social insurance numbers for these people, so you can bet that the workers aren't being covered. If this happens to you and you're audited by the WCB, you'll be forced to pay for that coverage and possibly even penalized. Now, what many employers always seem to forget about casual labor is that it does have all the same tax implications that regular employees have. Just because you may call somebody casual does not make them CPP or EI exempt. So that's something to watch out for. And due to provincial labor laws, you might still end up having to pay holidays, vacation, and severance too. The term casual employment, not casual labor, is what is used by the Canada Revenue Agency, or CRA, to describe a situation when you pay someone to do something that is not related to your usual trade or business. In this case, you would not be entitled to a deduction anyway, because if the payment is not for your business, then your business won't get a deduction. Even in the rare situations where casual employment exists, like a relative helping you finish your basement, if you pay them more than $500 in the year, you may still be required to issue a T4 slip, even though you don't get a deduction, because the expense was personal in nature. Conversely, if the payment is for tasks related to your business, then you are entitled to a tax deduction, but you also should be paying them as one of the two methods mentioned earlier, either as a subcontractor or as an employee. Subcontractors are required to invoice you, and employees are subject to withholding taxes. Both have to provide their social insurance number to you, or in the case of a registered contractor, a GST number will suffice, as well as their name and mailing address. Failure to have this information at tax time can become quite expensive and hard to track down, and it is common that if you don't have that information, the CRA may disallow the expense as unsupported. And with that, thanks for listening. It's Corey Litzenberger with CGL Strategic Business and Tax Advisors. You can find us online at cgltax.ca.